Hey guys, what's up? This is Andrew. Today, what I want to talk about was free will. Now, I know I already said I was going to talk about free will a while ago, but I didn't really know how to talk about it because it was Josh's idea, because he came up with this whole, theory. So I had to go over and talk to him about it and get some better ideas first of how it worked and what he meant and stuff like that. So, one thing I've always wondered how free will worked. I mean, I know we can do whatever we want, but what does that really mean? How does that work in relationship to God? Does God have our lives entirely planned out, and no matter what we do, we cannot change the outcome whatsoever? Basically, does God have every single event in our life set in stone already, but we just think we have free will? Essentially, that's what my question is. Now, the answer to that is no, because God knows everything. There's also a very intricate series of events that could happen. Ultimately though, I'm going to start out by saying this. Ultimately though, where we end up is one of two places. Heaven or hell. Now, if you're a Catholic and you're watching this, then you believe in purgatory, then that's a whole nother video for another day on how this fits into this. But for that, we're just not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about heaven and hell, the two main places you go after you die. So, you can either live your life, following God, serving God, and you'll end up going to heaven. If you believe in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you'll go to heaven. But if you spend your life being an atheist or denying God, or, doing horrible things, and you never accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and then you'll go to hell. Plain and simple like that. So ultimately, where we end up is one of two places. So with that in mind, I'm going to explain to you this little diagram that I drew that copied Josh's diagram. So here's a little diagram for you. So I think you guys should be able to see this. What this is this is basically the thing in the center says your life. This is your life right here in the center. And each and every single event is one of the singular paths you have. And in each one of those singular paths that you have branches off into much more complicated things that could branch off and branches off and keep branching off and stuff like that. And gets more and more complicated. It's kind of like a web. Everything is connected. Well, not everything, but most things are connected. So, if you do this one right here, you'll have these two choices, and then depending on which you pick on those two choices, or I'm saying two, oftentimes you'll have a lot more than just two. Like this one, you have 4 choices, and then each one of those has a set of choices that could happen if you do those things. And essentially, since each and everything ends up as, is a web, and everything it keeps going more detailed and detailed, some things can overlap, because there are some things, I guess I can put this down now, there are some things that will happen no matter what. I fully believe that God lets us plan our entire lives and lets us live our lives according to how we want to live them, as long as it's doing God's will. I mean, and even if you're not following God's will, you still have free will, so you can still choose not to follow God's will, if that makes sense. So, basically, I'm saying that there are certain key points in our lives that are set in stone, like things that have to happen, or that will happen no matter what. And those are the only points in our lives I think God fully controls the outcome of that event. Everything else is up to us, I believe. So I'm saying that God has full control over everything. But He lets us live our lives according to how we want to live it, essentially. So if you're a Christian, you want to live your life to fulfill God, and to appease God, to worship God, to love God, and stuff like that. You want to live to show that off. Now, as each one of those things on the diagram has an outcome, right? And each outcome could lead to good or bad. You could end up taking a path of straight bad things in your entire life, and you'll just keep going down, down, down. Or you can end up taking the good path, and you can keep going up and up, up and up and up. Or you could be all over the place. You can be like up, you could be sideways, you could be down, depending on what kind of decisions you make in your life. One thing I want to note though is that even if there are like, say, you only have two options. Like, say you only have two options, right? Like, two options, and you don't want to do either one of them. Like, let's just make an example right now. This is just a really stupid one, but say you want water, okay? Say you want water, but your water's all the way in the fridge over there, and you want water. There are two things you can do. You can either A, suffer and not get water, or B, get up and get it. There's also an unforeseen option that you could do, which is much more, like, ridiculous. If you really don't want to get up, and you really want water, then there's a third option that you can make yourself, and that is, you can call somebody to get water for you. Yes, hello, I would like some water. No, I can't pay you to do it, but, I mean, it would be great if you can get me water. 10 minutes? Really? Man, I'm thirsty now, man, come on. So you're gonna call me that now? Oh, okay, great. No, really, thanks. It's great. No, I'll just wait. I'll just die of thirst until you get here. Yeah, no, it's prime. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no. No. And then you wait for them to bring you the water. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have no idea where that skit just came from. I just randomly pulled it out of my butt. But, but, good lord. There's always even if you have two choices, there's always a third choice. There's always another option. There's always a way around the situation. You just have to be smart enough to think of it. Now my little water problem was really kind of stupid. It didn't really need, like, that's not really a big problem. You can just get up and walk to your fridge yourself. But that was just, like, the easiest, like, thing I can think of myself. But anyways, so the last thing I want to talk about really quick, because this has a little bit to do with the free will thing, but not a lot, is there are two phrases that I hear a lot. Is that everything happens for a reason, and everything is always part of God's plan. There's two things I hear all the time. First of all, I want to say that's false. That is not true. Not everything happens for a reason. Some things just happen. Okay? Not everything is part of God's plan. God does not allow horrible things to happen in most cases, with the exception of Job, in the book of Job. And that was because he was testing him. So, if there's something bad going on in your life, it's not always because God is testing you, or that you're being punished for something. Sometimes, it's just how it ends up being. Okay? And everything happens for a reason. That is also bullcrap. Because if I'm being stupid driving, okay, if I'm driving down the road, and I'm being stupid, and I decided to test and drive, like, hey, LOL, this guy just did a, backflip off a trampoline and landed on a cat. LOL. Then I flipped my car. That's my own stupid fault. That was not part of, like, some sort of divine plan. That was my own consequence to my act. Because God does not always allow bad things to happen. And the one thing I hear a lot from non-believers is that, well, if God was all-powerful and loving, why does he allow school shootings to happen? Well, let me ask you this. Why would he stop school shootings if you already took him out of the schools? Think about that for a second. Because we took him out of the schools, so why would he stop something where he's not welcomed? My own personal thought, and I swear I read this somewhere in the Bible, that God can only go where he's wanted. If you don't want to live with God, if you don't want to live with God, God is not going to, like, force that on you. That would be like you being basically a robot and not having any control over anything. So, yeah. Anyways, I believe that's about it, and then just kind of let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time in the next video. So, until then, see you later, and God bless.